My name is Joshua Howard with the California Apartment Association. We've convened this press conference today to call on the Alameda County Board of Supervisors to do one thing: end the eviction moratorium. I'd like to introduce Judie Zhu, who will share her experience. Judie owns a rental property in Livermore, and she's owed $108,000 in unpaid rent. Judie and her husband have had to take on jobs as DoorDash drivers, working 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. While they struggle to make ends meet, their tenant, who lives in their house, refuses to pay his rent.
Ever since May of 2022, he has refused to apply for rental assistance or pay us a dime, even though he has stable and consistent income. He said to us that he would never pay and he would never leave because the government would protect them. The renter laughed in our face and said to us, "This is our home. We will never leave and we will never pay." Luxury items, expensive clothes are delivered to our doorstep every day. But they're not for us. They're for the renter who refusing to pay us what we agreed to and refusing to pay us the rent that we used to pay our son's medical bills.
You will now hear from Rubina Karnad, whose daughter owns a rental property in the city of Oakland. Her daughter is a student studying to be a therapist, and she works 3 jobs to make ends meet. Rubina and her family are owed over $14,000 because of this eviction moratorium.
A few months ago, she called me and she's frantic and crying, sobbing. She says, "My tenant is not paying me. He's refused to pay me and I have no money." He hasn't paid her a single dime. And as a result, she's late on her mortgage. She's had to live with 2 other people now to make her rent. And she's defaulted on her insurance. Meanwhile, I drive by and see her tenant with a brand new car in the driveway. And I ask him, "Please pay my daughter. She doesn't have any money. She can't afford to allow you to live here rent-free." He says, "Next time if you come here, I'm gonna let my dogs loose on you." There's 2 dogs there, bulldogs, roaming around in the yard, so that's a physical threat.
I'm a single mom of 2 children. I own a home in Oakland, California, and I've owned it for 12 years. In October of 2019, I rented one of the rooms in my house to another single mom for below market rent, hoping we could live together in community. Instead, I found myself in a toxic situation with no escape, with protections only for my housemate and none for me and my children, despite the fact that she now owes me more than $15,000 in unpaid rent. I was faced with a hard choice: stay in this toxic situation, as I had already done for 3 years, or find a new home. So I packed my bags and left, fleeing the only home my 2 young children have ever known. Now I am facing possible foreclosure.